Hello and welcome to Camera Centre UK's podcast. Today I have Chris Harrison, who runs That Tattoo Show, on with us. And we've done a video with you before, which is exciting.
Yeah, man.
And you also saved my metaphorical bacon at Wales and West, because I pretty much did all of the media for that show. And then I was just run rampant. The video though, loved it. So go on, first of all, explain kind of what you do and, That Tattoo Show. And maybe a bit of the story behind it, because it's actually quite interesting.
Yeah, first and foremost, I'm a tattooist. Like, someone actually asked me down in the Wales and West show, they were like, "Oh, are you a videographer?" I'm like, "No, I'm a tattooist," because I don't really class myself as one of those. But yeah, I'm a tattooist. We had lockdown, and myself and my business partner, co-host Paul Talbot, we were just like chatting, because we've been mates for over 10 years. We were just chatting online, getting drunk. And we thought, why don't we film this and make a podcast as a way of keeping ourselves busy and kind of keeping ourselves sane. When you go from not being able to when you go from working like full time, being flat out, to suddenly not being able to do anything creative, not being able to do your job, you're kind of stuck. So yeah, we just kind of started doing it, and we're still doing it 3 years later. The 3 years later, you've actually managed to pull it off, because you're on around about 10,000 subscribers now? At time filming this, we're probably on 9,600 subscribers, and we've just hit our first million channel views. That's awesome, really, to be fair. Cool. But what I thought was quite interesting about it, and I think a subject that I kind of like talking to people about anyway, is the sort of aftermath of COVID on people's life, especially when it comes to, for me, for example, I left a job I'd been in for a fairly long time at that point, and what COVID gave to me was the point of view where I can't necessarily justify doing this for not doing something that I love. And it ended up being the reason I ended up leaving that job, and then eventually coming to start my own company with Gav. So it's been quite interesting to see kind of a lot of people jump from industries they were in before to jump to an entirely different industry. Yeah, definitely. I think what I found really interesting with my industry, the tattoo industry, was, people don't realize that our job is not a 9 to 5. It's we have to tattoo during the day. Then we also have to do marketing, social media, post, editing videos for that. Then we draw on our design. So our job is, it's pretty much 15, 16 hour day job sometimes, not necessarily the 6 hours that you're in the studio. And what I noticed during lockdown was a lot of artists ended up just kind of going into standard work, just getting a normal job, and really liking the balance of family life and so on. And quite a few people actually quit tattooing and went and done normal work, whereas obviously I went the opposite.
Well, it's one of those things, because I did some work briefly just after the company I left in an ad agency, and with that job it was quite interesting that over COVID a lot of the companies that started up were people that actually were looking to do their own businesses. Yeah. And it was alley barber shops and stuff like that, a lot of jewellery and a lot of this and that. And it was interesting to find out that you were actually photographing the same watch multiple times from these different companies, because they've all had the same watch. Yeah. And then done that. So it was interesting from a lot of different perspectives. I think a lot of people became incredibly rich and done well over COVID. Yeah. But it's all about kind of adjusting the way in which you see the world and seeing kind of the best way to adapt to it. And I think a lot of companies did start up in COVID, and some of them have managed to continue because they've managed to continually adapt and change with the times. And then suddenly a lot of companies that didn't understand that,
Well, I think it's just COVID was different. The whole lockdown situation was different. People were stuck at home. They were shopping online. I know somebody that had a business, and it's gone into administration now. But during the first lockdown, I think within the first 2 months of lockdown, they took 3 years worth of take-ins. And that's just because everyone's in the house. They're bored. They got nothing to do, and they just doom scrolling on their phones, so just buying stuff.
Yeah, a lot of people did that. Yeah, I mean, you could probably be one of the case points for this, because you ended up buying literally all of the camera gear Because of course you've now moved to the FX6, which is your first time trying it out at Wales and West.
Yeah, it was an eye opener because it's like obviously I started. So when I started the YouTube channel, I started off. My first camera I had was something like a Canon 80D or something like that.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
Good camera.
It was alright. He'd done the job. Like that was my first venture into YouTube, and then like I was speaking to Bill, who I always tell people to go and see it, and he was saying about like the Sony. So then I had a look at the A7R2. So I bought that. So that was what I started filming on. And I think like for me, my goal was always like I want an A7S3. So then I worked towards getting that, and I'm so used to filming with an A7S3 that jump into an FX6 is just like unreal. Like I've had cinema cameras, like I had the Blackmagic 4K, but that just didn't work for me for the type of for podcasting and stuff that I do. But
well, the thing I would say about Sony cameras, and I think this is what you've experienced and what I've experienced, is the fact that they're just generally reliable.
Oh yeah,
because you can. Of course, Blackmagic does have better color science, a lot better codecs inside.
Yeah.
But the autofocus is not as tuned in as that's the thing. So, like the way I think about it is, you got to really kind of, when you're looking at cameras, you got to really debate kind of like what you're looking for in their camera.
Yeah.
If you're looking for reliability with fairly decent specs across the board, I think Sony's really good. For color science, Canon, Blackmagic are a lot better. If you want color science and decent autofocus, then Canon might be a better choice for you. But
I
again,
like the color on Sony.
Huh?
I like the color on Sony's. Like,
I like it.
But at the same time, at the same time though, it's just like I like the color on Sony, but like I edit using DaVinci Resolve, so I always go in and I play about with the colors. So the colors that you see on a lot of my videos aren't necessarily straight out camera. They've been there's like
it's the same because I shoot in S-Log throughout pretty much. Do you shoot in S-Log?
Sometimes. So I tell you.
No. I actually need to check because of your camera.
It should be an S-Log. It has been. Do you want to go and check?
I will check.
I was going to say, okay, so I'll keep talking at this point. So like the red record button and the white balance button, the red record button is the picture profile button. Yeah, so I think I have a love-hate relationship with S-Log. Now, when I first started doing the YouTube stuff and I first started getting back into filming, I studied film when I was in college, and I was like 17. I'm like 39 this year. So there's such a big gap, and the kind of stuff I was using to edit back then was still like, the cassettes. We were like one of the first people to have like a Mac room and everything. So it was like the old white dome iMacs, like those ones. I can't remember what they're called. But so I've had to learn everything all over again. So I was like, I'm going to only film with S-Log. I'm only going to do this. And when you're trying to do it and you're learning, you just end up, it takes too long to edit. So I was kind of like, nah, do you know what? It's just easier for workflow just to do straight out camera colors. And especially with the S-Cine tone, like that, I think it looks nice. And that's like a nice base straight out camera look, and then I can just apply a kind of LUT over the top of that. But I think now I'm more experienced because I have been quite flat out over the past 3 years relearning everything. I think I'm fairly adept at using S-Log. Like I think if you give me S-Log footage, I could probably get it looking tidy without even putting a transformation LUT on it. Yeah. Because that was my problem. Like I weren't using transformation LUTs. So like when you go from like S-Log to, I think I used like S-Log to like 709 Type A.
Once you've got your process down, and from my experience, because I'm not necessarily a colorist, once you got your process down to in order to be able to get a usable image out of something, then I think it's something that you've got in your head and it's easy to do then. I am a Premiere editor. I absolutely dislike the program quite a bit.
Get on Resolve, man.
I need to get on Resolve.
I've been saying it for years. Like I've been saying it right for about. I was editing on Final Cut. I bought Final Cut. I started using the free version of Resolve, and I just deleted Final Cut. I was just like, that's better. The free version of Resolve is better than the paid version. No, it's better than Final Cut. But like, as soon as I got on that, I was just like, for me, it's a game changer. It's like, it takes a little bit of getting used to, but I think once you get used to using it compared to like some other software, it's just really intuitive. Like the color grade inside of things, like the node tree, like that's just layers. Do you mean? Yeah. It's wicked.
I genuinely need to give it a go, because I do have a very much a love-hate relationship with Premiere, and I think it's a little bit kind of like what's that syndrome for kidnapped people?
Oh, Stockholm
syndrome. Yeah. So I got a little bit.
I was going to say Munchausen then,
because it's a program that I know a little bit too well.
Yeah.
And
it's sometimes you stick with what you know, innit?
Sometimes you stick with, sometimes it's probably a good idea to try something new.
Yeah.
I'm going to try it. I'm debating whether to get an iPad to actually do that, kind of soft.
Oh, no, just get straight into Resolve.
Get straight into it. Dive deep.
Like, the good thing about Resolve is there are so many tutorials out there.
Yeah.
Like, I keep forgetting the guy's name. The Quasman. Like,
Quasman.
Yeah, I think that's where his YouTube channel is. He is a colorist.
Yeah.
And he just does so many different tutorials about, like, with DaVinci Resolve. And, like, I learned so much from him.
You have to send them to me.
Yeah.
Because I am debating whether to make the search, because at the moment, my laptop's decided to implode, and it's probably mostly to do with the laptop, but the other side is Premiere's
broken.
Premiere.
The thing is, like, so many people, I think so many people use Premiere, and I think if you look at a lot of, like, video content creators that are on YouTube, they go through phases where they're like, oh yeah, Premiere. But, like, all of those guys now are kind of going like, oh, just discovered DaVinci Resolve.
Yeah.
And now they're all pushing Resolve.
There's actually a shirt that I want, because it's to link to Premiere.
Yeah.
So Corridor Digital recently released a shirt which is the media offline.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if you've ever seen that graphic. If you're a Premiere user, you know
it's
that
a constant
graphic.
like,
and it's media offline. And I was just like, do you know what, that is like a brilliant shirt. You've got friends who have been through the issues on the pains and the traumas of Premiere when they see you walking down the street with a media offline thing. Because Premiere, man,
I think I used Premiere when I was 18 or 17, and I never touched it since. But, like, one thing I like about, again, going back to Resolve, is you don't have to, you can get the free version, which is jam-packed. Like, I think if you got if you spent £800 on an M1 Mac Mini, and you downloaded the free version of Resolve, like, you could do a YouTube channel with that. You could, like, I've been editing for the last. But when did the M1 Mac Mini come out? Like, what, a year ago?
Yeah.
So I've been editing with the M1 Mac Mini.
Yeah.
All my YouTube videos.
Which I'm actually quite surprised, because the trouble is, most of your YouTube videos, they're actually shot in HD. Is that right?
Yeah. Well, yeah. So I film unless I'm gonna, like, actively crop in and out.
Yeah.
Then I'll just film it in HD, because I don't see the point in having 4K videos on YouTube. It's going to be watched on your phone. The only time then I would probably film in 4K is when I'm doing product shots, because that's where I'll really, like, you've got that scope to crop in and reframe it and stuff. But yeah, I don't think I know anybody that watches our YouTube channel on a 4K TV. It's all on their iPhones. So it doesn't really make much difference.
Yeah, I like filming in 4K. Everything via Camera Center is actually uploaded in 4K, even the podcast.
Yeah.
So, like, that's a 17 gigabyte folder.
Yeah.
Every time.
But the other side of it as well then is, like, when we film, so the way we do our podcast is I'm in South Wales and Paul's up in Birmingham. So if I made a mistake, I lent my camera to one of my mates, and he changed everything over to, like, 4K and all that stuff, and I didn't bother changing it back. So I filmed the podcast, and Paul's like,
I can already see the issue with that.
He's like, why is it like a 47 gigabyte?
Sorry for the noise, if you can probably hear that. I don't know. This is going to...
No, but
So, tip for today. I've recently come to know of a way of editing audio via this thing called Adobe Podcast.
Is it Adobe or is it Adobe?
Adobe Podcast.
Is it Adobe or is it Adobe?
We need to finish the bit. So I've recently discovered this thing called Adobe Podcast via Microphone Nerds, and what's really interesting about it is if there's a lot of background noise here today whilst we're filming this.
Yeah.
So if it's good, and Adobe Podcast all the way. If it's not, then I mean, we're filming this in a large warehouse full of stuff.
Active working environment.
Yeah, active work environment. So if there's no shutters going up, crashes downstairs, people throwing books, then it should be all right. You were saying?
Yeah, sorry. No, what I was going to say was, like, is it Adobe or is it Adobe? That's the...
Okay, I go Adobe.
Adobe just sounds better.
Adobe, yeah. I understand, right? English is a absolute mother.
Yeah, because it's like Nike and Nike. So do you know what I mean? It's like aluminium and aluminum.
Tomatoes.
Yeah, it's like
it's a dangerous area.
if you're in America, it's Adobee.
Yeah.
If you're in the UK, it's just Adobe. Because you can't be bothered just saying the E.
No, Adobe. It's Adobe.
Yeah, probably no, it probably is. Like,
No, because it's named after. I'm assuming this is what it's named after.
Adobe.
There's something called Adobe. But no, it's actually like a building material used in like the Middle East, I believe, something like that. Adobe. It's. I say the Middle East. I probably only know this from playing.
COD.
No, what was the game? It was a dinosaur game, Primal something.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They had Adobe on
They
that.
had Adobe. I know it is building material because it's also come up in Minecraft as well, which is the more knowledge for most things.
That's mad.
Yeah.
So speaking of Adobe,
Yeah.
do you know, I didn't realize this until I watched the behind the scenes of The Mandalorian.
Yeah.
One of the guys who created Photoshop was one of the visual effects artists and videographers on the Star Wars movies.
Well, the originals.
Yeah, and he worked on Mandalorian. He filmed a scene
mental.
there's a certain scene that they filmed with like the spaceship, I can't remember what it's called now. And he filmed it with a Canon DSLR.
That's mental. Do you know what else is crazy?
Wow.
When the first Star Wars movie was getting made and George Lucas, was heading the team, he's like, this is going to be the biggest thing. It's going to be great. Really pushing the movie. The visual effects artist for it actually called it that space movie because they thought it was going to go nowhere.
No way.
And it turned out to be one of the biggest franchises in filmmaking history.
Oh, see, that's like, Crocs.
Yeah.
That's like, so like, I think they look, I think only two people, there's only two types of people that wear Crocs. I'm not going to say who they are. But like, one of my business partners in the tattoo shop was telling me that when Crocs came out, there was like a certain film that was out and they were like, they needed shoes for it, and it was like a comedy, and they were like, what are the most ridiculous looking shoes that we can get for this film that nobody will wear? And then they ended up using Crocs, and then like a year or two later they just like
They're massive.
Exploded.
Have you seen the customization videos people have had of Crocs?
No.
Where they've put like searchlights on them and stuff.
Oh, see, that's just ridiculous.
It's ridiculous.
But they're saying that, I'm the
I
kind of,
appreciate it, like when it comes to like kind of coming back to camera gear, because this is actually a camera podcast.
Yeah.
I've actually been a big fan of customizing my cameras
Yeah.
to make them mine. I mean, like, if
Well,
Gav's probably listening to this right now,
breaking
being
the
like,
doors off and
breaking the drawers off.
throwing it at a wall so it's got a nice dent.
Yeah, no, it's one of those things. It's one of the. Okay, this is really bad to admit, but not necessarily kind of the main thing. But Casey Neistat, you know Casey Neistat?
Yeah.
He did
one of my favorite YouTube videos.
Exactly. One of his videos was about kind of like how he handles his cameras, because he's bad with camera gear and stuff like that. And I know that for the most part, the stuff that I'm going to use to the point, like I'm going to use all the time. It's going to be hard pressed all the time. And for the most part, I want to have the ability to put my name on it, to say, hey, if this is found, if we're lost or whatever, it'll come back. I will admit I need to be better looking after my camera.
Have you seen them A-tag things you can get, like small rig make them A-tag holders, so you can get like the Apple A-tags and then secure them to your cameras?
Yes, that probably
saves you, because I'm not being funny. Like if I was the sort of person that was so inclined to steal somebody's camera and you just wrote your name on it with a sticker, I just peel your name off. Like,
yeah, but if I saw something that looks like it could hold an air tag on the side of the thing that I could just undo with a screw.
No, but the screws are on the inside.
Are they?
Yeah.
Oh, that's.
But at that point, they're gonna.
Yeah.
You probably know what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or they can just take the cage off, because I'm guessing it doesn't stop the cage from coming off.
True.
And usually
You
cages
just find it like
don't sell for much.
Yeah,
but it's one of those things.
Follow your A-tag the camera. So.
Yeah. Oh, the other thing today is you've now bought your second gold bloom filter.
Yes.
So this is all being filmed on gold bloom filters. Thank you, Format High Tech. Although he's bought his.
You could just reimburse me the money for. No, do you know what? Like, I obviously when I went to the Wales and West show, like I've been looking at getting some Pro Mist filters for a while because Paul uses them.
Yeah.
And filming in like different areas, we want to kind of try and make our shots look fairly similar, even though the backgrounds are different, but have some sort of symmetry to them. And so I was looking at filters, and I was planning to get a Pro Mist filter. When I went down to the Wales and West show, and I had a chat with the guys on the Format High Tech, and they were showing me the filters, and I was just like, for me, those ones work a lot better because I think with the Tiffin ones, it's overall kind of like softness, but they were showing me that with their ones, you still retain some of the details.
Well, what's incredibly clever about these ones, and this is kind of like how I think it works. So don't quote me on anything in which this is said. So if you look at the Philip Bloom filters from the front of it, the speckles, yeah, the gold, because that's why they're gold. It's because they got gold speckles. You can get silver as well, which I think is a lot of people's favourites. I haven't tried it yet.
Yeah.
But the speckles, basically, what you've got is the sharp, really sharp kind of like glass in between where the speckles are.
Yeah.
So you still retain the details, whilst the dust kind of like layer kind of expand the highlight, smooth out your skin a little bit. And when you're working with a bunch of lights that are not necessarily worth 50 quid to light a podcast, for example, it might actually makes you look pretty, I guess. Maybe, I don't know, I'm probably going to be cursing my past self in the thing, being like, this is way too soft or whatever,
way too glamorous.
I might almost look too good also, younger.
Just have to go on to so this is a good thing about DaVinci Resolve. Just go on there and you just increase the mid-tone details, so it makes you look a little bit more rugged and ancient. But no, like I think with the filters, for me, it's like I just want the lighting in the background to look like bloomy, let's say, soft, and just have that nice glow to it. But then when you're doing the product shots, because I do a lot of product shots with the reviews and stuff, you still want the actual product to be kind of, because it's like nice and sharp. Because I was doing the product shots with a Helios 50mm Helios lens, and also that Tamron lens I showed you, like one of my dad's old ones, because like that just like makes the light, they make the picture look like what they would look like with those filters on, but it's not as sharp. So I'm hoping it'll get that effect, and they look cool, to be honest.
They do look really cool. I mean, the gold rim, it basically like it comes from the old days where, like, when I had a Canon camera and I was like, oh, I really want one of those red ring lenses, because they're the pro lenses.
I feel like I've upgraded now, though. I got like 2G master lenses, so I'm like, does that make you a pro? I don't know.
Definitely. But it's a sick. And of course, as per usual, today has been pretty much unplanned. So the other side of it is we bumped into the shop earlier. And it's so terrible weather outside. I was just like, do you want to film a podcast? So we just came down and
it's just one of them,
stole the camera center boardroom and
done this. It's like what Bob Rush says, isn't it? It was a happy accident.
Yes.
Yeah, I went to work this morning. And my
there's no mistakes. There's perfect accidents.
Just happy accidents.
Yeah.
I went to work this morning. My client didn't turn up, so I was just like, okay, I was going to swap a lens anyway, and I was like arranging my room, and I was just like, I'm getting to that point where I just don't want to have too much gear, because like I want to be as efficient as I can. So I want to be able to just like have one bag that's got everything I need in it, and I can just put it up on the shelf and just pack it all away, and there's no like extras.
Efficiency is really key when it comes to camera gear, and that's what I liked about your setup when we came to visit you the other day. Link for the video here. But no, it's something that I've been through, and I still am. I like to keep my gear as efficient as possible, and it's kind of what I appreciate about the tripod that I probably go on a little bit too much about.
It's had the spinny
one. It's what's on there now. So I've now put a video head on there.
That's I think I've
so it's a spinny one, and then I've got the extension pole to do something a bit crazier with, which at the time of this video is still not edited, but it is going to be in the next video.
But I was hoping that when I get my one of those sent over, you can help me film a new intro.
Yeah, sure.
And we make a process video, because I want to do like what you did with the products in the middle.
Yeah.
But I want to like just suspended with fishing wire and just have it going.
Yeah, definitely. It sounds cool. I think the other thing that I would like to work out is a way to actually stick a platform in the center. I
figured this out. I got it. Okay, so if you've got get like a light stand.
Yeah.
Get one of the quarter extender screws.
Yeah, and you'd attach it to like a thing.
No, you have the Edelkrone pan heads.
Yeah.
So they sell the Lazy Susan plates.
Yeah.
Just screw one of them. So you put it up through the center.
Yeah.
Screw that plate on top of it. We'll try it out in the shop. Done. I've got a white one and a black one.
You got a white one and a black one.
Somewhere.
Definitely.
What are my doom drawers? My drawers of stuff. But no, I ended up.
I didn't actually know Edelkrone did the separate.
They have a little one which is like this big.
Because we've got the head one, and that's what we've always used for stuff.
Yeah.
Because it's excellent. But yeah, we need to check what time it is, because they might actually shutting this soon. Yeah, they're probably going to be shutting soon.
Yeah, it'll come wicked though. We'd be locked in, you know.
That'd be funny. We've got to somehow escape the room.
Dum 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 dum.
Okay, something we haven't gone over is we bumped into each other today, and you've actually got yourself something I like a lot. So we're going to do a proto unboxing video.
Woo!
So this is the DJI mics, and I love them to pieces.
Well, I only got it. I'm a Rode user. I got the Rode wireless Go's, and again, when we talk about efficiency and stuff, like I wanted to get the wireless Go's. Again, the new ones, but they didn't have a charging case, so I purely got that because it's got a charging case, and I'm going to do a convention next weekend. So
yeah,
I don't know if your recommendation.
Well, the charger cases, but also you got the magnetic clip to them as well.
Yeah, I lost mine, so I hope I don't lose these ones.
No, yeah. You'll be surprised how actually strong they are. Open up.
I couldn't believe it. Like I literally bought the magnetic clip for the wireless Go, lost it within couple of days.
Actually,
yeah, I
actually only bought it like
I put it in my bag and it's gone. Okay, so we have a terrible unboxing skills.
Terrible unboxing skills.
So we got here then. So this is a nice fancy bag. Dead cats.
I find that
cattails.
I shouldn't really find it funny, but I like back when I was in the camera center. So this is a story. Back when I used to work at camera center.
It's a nice case, isn't it?
And people used to come to the shop, right, and they would like ask for Rode mics. And sell them a Rode Mic Pro, Video Mic Pro, or whatever. And there was a certain area, and it was filled with those. So like whenever they would come in, I'd be like, "Oh, I got a cupboard full of dead cats over there," which was really awful of me.
Yeah, that's pretty cool, man. I gotta say.
That's cool. Check the magnetic part of the clip though. It's on there solid, and it fits straight into the same box, so it's hard to lose.
Yeah.
Saying that, I have lost mine. So if you're in the area of Butte Park at any point and find a wireless Go, let me know.
Okay, I think it's because it's
not wireless Go, a DJI mic.
It's just a bit smaller. Yeah.
And it works really well like that. And I've shown people that we do this, and there's people that use them for so Vanguard Tactics or what. Like I told you, I did some work with them the other day. Another big YouTube channel.
Yeah.
And I showed them that I actually put it under the shirts the other way with the magnetic clip out. And he was like, I've never thought to do it like that. And I was just like, it's so much better.
Some guy saying that goes on there. All right.
I'll show around you a little bit. But they're really good. And I think you're going to be actually quite happy with it.
But technically, it didn't cost me anything. So I just traded in. That's one thing I like about Camera Center UK. If you got old gear that you don't want, just trade it in.
It's great, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it allows you to get the latest things if you are looking to upgrade or...
Yeah. I like that. I see. This is where again, I love Rode microphones. I've always used Rode.
Yeah.
But this is next level for me because it's just everything you need is just all in there.
Yeah.
Because I know
sorted.
if you're in a situation where you want to record something,
yeah.
I didn't know you could plug that into an iPhone until earlier, and it's just banging.
You can also plug it into your iPad. So yeah, it's a really good piece of gear. Wireless Go 2's also excellent, but if I'm honest, for me, it's one of those things that I do very much prefer these because they are just everything's all in one case, and for me, that's kind of what I want.
Screen and everything, is it?
It's got touchscreen, yeah.
Sweet.
You can actually turn on the individual mics to record. They also have internal audio in them as well, so you've always got backup upon backup. Equally, if you want to do some quick VO, you can literally just get that out, record it, as you're sitting in your living room or whatever, and then just put it back in there, and what's called to transfer it to your computer, obviously.
So it just auto connects. That's really good.
Auto connects, yeah.
That's really good. Okay, so I'm a massive fan of this already. Sorry, Rode. Do you've been replaced?
Yeah. No. Yes. No.
What? You just hit record there.
Yeah, but also bring it back. Give that here. So you see this? Where is it?
Ah.
So it's like this. There you go. So press that. And press record straight from the thing. So if you've got a videographer and you want them to record whilst you're interviewing somebody, and they've got the mic on them, don't know what to do, you can literally just use that to record it.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's an absolutely game-changing thing. Not game-changer. I mean, there are other manufacturers with, maybe better audio quality, better connection.
So you have this set as mono then, yeah?
Yeah. For me, when it comes to the gear that I like to have, I like to make sure it can cover me and be as reliable as possible, because I've had experience with gear being unreliable in the past. So
this is the biggest hell, and this is the.
I don't know if it fits in there though.
No,
it kind of clicks in, so it screws in. It does.
Yeah, that sounds. Actually, I like the road ones, and then weird little clips, and would always like pop off. That's cool.
Yeah.
I'm only getting it because I know
the cable for it's weird though as well. So if you touch the cable, it's actually a wire. So it's like you bend it into different shapes, and it sticks like that.
Oh.
Again, this is more for if you're looking to, organize your wires in a very specific way.
Yeah. I like that.
But it's very well thought through, and that's something DJI are very good at, is thinking through what they create.
Yeah, they do. Yeah. They make some really great products. I will give them that. But that just feels really well. I'm excited. Really, it feels really well made.
Because I don't know how much longer we got left.
Yeah.
All right. And I ask you one final question. Is there any advice that you'd give someone looking to start a creative career? Be it, because you are a tattoo artist, of course, but you also are doing more video, photo stuff now. But
any advice?
Yeah.
Any advice I would give to somebody looking to venture into a creative career is just be prepared to work hard initially, and things take time. If you're not getting where you want to be straight away, there's nothing wrong with that. Like I've always gone by there's that saying in it. It takes 10 years to become an overnight sensation. And like I've been tattooing for 20 years, and like now 20 years into my career, I'm starting to get recognition within my industry, let's say. Yeah. But that is probably because we've got a podcast, so it's a double-edged sword there. But yeah, I think it's like you've got to love it, you've got to enjoy it, because you've got to commit a lot of your life to it. You can't just be. Can I swear? I have sweared, though. I think I probably swore. Yeah, you can't be like half-assed when it comes to.
That's not
creative.
a fair word.
Yeah, I don't know, but I probably sweared loads already. I just don't realise. But yeah, you can't be half-assed. You can't half-ass it. You've just got to 100% commit. You can't just be like, oh well, maybe I'll just like do a bit of drawing today, or maybe I'll just do a bit of a video tomorrow. It's like
it's hard work doing this.
And for me, if I was giving like a tattooist, somebody who wanted to be a tattooist advice, I would just be like, be prepared to be knocked back by a lot of people. Be open for criticism, be humble, and always take on people's advice. And
that's something I think I wish more people understood, is how to be open to criticism.
Oh yeah, but it's like the other day when I come down. So like, not a lot of people will know this, but like, I lost to come and film with you. I lost £900 in wages. Like I give up £900 wages, right? Because I wanted to come down and learn. Because I know that there's a lot more that I need to learn. But I think one of the first things I said after that was like, have you got any criticism? Okay. Any advice? So any tips? Because like I want to know what I'm doing wrong, because what that does then is that will improve me, and like ultimately it will improve my podcast, my videos and so on, which is what it's all about.
I think understanding that criticism is a very important process to how you get better. It's something you learn later on, because I remember when I was young and I thought I was the best videographer in the world. Now, I'm good. There's always a bigger fish. But at the end of the day, I am willing to accept criticism.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the things that I think is probably something I would push to anybody who needs to understand getting into a creative career. Is criticism is key to becoming better.
100%. I think
you have to accept that.
100%. I think one other thing as well is, and this is just from a podcaster's point of view, or maybe from a YouTube channel perspective, there's a lot of people doing podcasts lately, and a lot of people are doing them because they think they are. Yeah, but you got a reason. Yeah. But there are a lot of people who are doing it because they think it's like the next cool thing to do. Yeah. Like we done it because we were just drunk and thought, why don't we film it? But I think if you are going to do a podcast, or if you are going to do a YouTube channel, you've really got to do it about something that you love, and something that you're passionate about, and something that you're knowledgeable about. If you're just making a YouTube channel or podcast about stuff, I think that shows in the
Also,
conversation.
like trend chasers as well, because there
Yeah.
are people that will just literally chase after everything, like Mr. Beast videos. You know, people
Yeah.
would like say Mr. Beast 20,000 times into a thing, but yeah, then they'll do a tech review 2 weeks later, and then they'll do, you know,
Yeah, you want to be
learn
Mr.
a
Beast.
niche. And I think this is something that you've done, is that you've
Yeah.
learned your niche, and that's
We know you can expand on things. Like
Yeah.
we're going to be introducing camera stuff into our YouTube channel, but that's not necessarily like, oh, you know, I'm Peter McKinnon,
no.
fucking doing
Well, you've
Canon
built it.
reviews.
Yeah.
I'm a tattooist, and what is the best lenses for taking pictures of tattoos? But then rather than me doing it, I'll say get somebody from you, or you know, get somebody from Sigma in to kind of like sit down and maybe talk over what the best lens would be to take a picture, and like,
Be good.
because it's so then it's more tailored towards the tattoo industry.
Yeah.
Then.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Amazing. Have you enjoyed our talk today?
I always
I
enjoy our
don't think we
chat.
talk for ages ever, but it does sound like they're closing down this place, and probably
You need to give me a key, don't you?
They do need to give me a key, but equally, I don't know if they will give me a key to this place.
Yeah, true.
There's,
There's like I have a ladder coming up outside, so you
Yeah,
can
you
climb
should.
it through the window. Like,
I should have like a little porthole.
yeah, it's just
to
like
get in somewhere, shouldn't I?
that's when it's to happen. Like,
But as usual, Chris, it's absolutely been a pleasure.
yeah,
talking
man,
To
it's been
you.
awesome.
Probably have you on again at some point.
Maybe we've got more time.
When we got more time. Yeah, well, we kind of did this a little bit later in the day, but you know, I think we covered a lot of different subjects. Hopefully, kept on track to a certain extent. And
That's what I like
it's
about
been
podcasts. So it's all about
It's great, isn't
it's
it?
the waffling, isn't
The
it?
trouble is, I love a good waffle.
Yeah.
I do, and you've
And I think-
officially given me a good waffle.
I think it's the two people that potentially have ADHD probably like.
Just button heads over who
Yeah.
can not focus on something.
Yeah.
What? Cool. We got a number of cool podcasts coming up, so make sure you subscribe down below. If you want to comment on anything we said today, make sure you comment.
Yeah.
And you know best how to end these, because you've done how many now? Like 100?
122.
Okay, so how do you end a podcast?
I doing a podcast. Oh, so we do it differently because like Paul's got this mad like, you know, tell the lawyer, tell the priest, and all that stuff.
Oh, okay.
But I just be like, oh, you know, thanks so much for watching. If you have enjoyed watching it, please make sure you subscribe, hit the notification button, and all that stuff to keep up to date with everything that we do. I've been Chris.
I've been Stewart.
Yeah, and he
That
will
was
see
done
you.
by a professional.
Yeah, and he will see you in another video.
And he will see you over on that tattoo show.
Woo! Yeah, Paul is like, tell the lawyer, tell the priest, tell your nan that Camera Centre UK has got some wicked cameras for sale. And but I always try and trip him up because like he's saying all that stuff, and I'm just taking the piss at him. Like as he's saying it, I'm in his ear going, tell Dave, tell John, or tell Steve that Michael Jackson isn't actually dead.
Can't like the idea of just tapping off all the lights or tapping on the lights and like, you can't be rid of it.